It's alive. It's alive. I'm alive. I didn't even want to do this video, but I did want to do this video. One of the reasons I say I didn't want to do this video is because I feel drained. I feel it's slow. I feel like I'm behind. I haven't been here for the last couple of months, so I'm not in that swing. You know what I'm saying? Look at those shoulders. They're moving, right? Pieces and parts. How things look. I got two arms. I have to adjust the focus. Just give me a second. Adjusting focus, getting that focus off. Now I'm going to go to the advanced settings. The advanced settings. Yeah. Give me a little color intensity. Color intensity, you know, get it intense. Too much intense. That too much intense, right? Yeah. Okay, we'll save it like that. So I'm moving. I have an arm. Is my arm like this? 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 How is my arm? I have a shape. How is that shape? According to between me and you. So now I have letters. And the occupation, the occupying space of a letter will tell you what position you are in and whether or not you're diverting from area space. And the reason I say it is because if I put 60 of these cards, one here, one here, one here, one here, one here, eventually there won't be any space between this card and the next card. So what's going to actually happen is we're going to have, let's say, this circle, right? And this card plugged in. But the whole entire circle, okay, is going to be occupied by the connecting cards. And then only once it gets out to a certain distance will you actually have an area space, one part of the reality. And the reason I speak this is the totality of the creation and understanding of what is going on in the world we live. Who are we? How is it possible there's planets? How does a spaceship go into outer space and go to the moon and never go to the moon because it's too expensive or they don't have the technology, yet they go to Mars? What is the moon? What is the sun? Why so much secrecy when you're into these companies? And the truth about all this is because they don't want everybody to know. And it has nothing to do with money, but it has to do with controlling the truth. Because the less you know, the less you are informed. The less you know the reality of the entire situation, of the totality of who you are on this planet, what we are as human beings, where we come from, and is there life after death? Is there a God? Is there a creator? What are religions? Should we be following our intuition or going to church and listening to the one pastor who just molested the child, but is denying it because all the president's men? Where we have one supreme judge, okay, instead of knights of the round table. Black and white, the killer whale. Black and white, the skunk. Black and white, the zebra. Black and white, the referee. Which way does the stripe go? So what I want to do in this very, very short video is just write down a few letters. And who says that the letter R, right? Who said the letter R had to be done this way? Or the letter R had to be done this way, bringing in the pumpkin? Or the letter R upside down from each other, creating this design? Or the balloon from the beginning of the letter R, taking away its stand, its balancing stand for one pin? The letter R going up too high, but running the angle two down and two over, right? This is not two over, so the R is now short for the area space. I'm going to design one more R for you, and it's the square R. In the square R, you can see the entire area space, two high, one over. But when I drag the rounded one in, okay, I'm not showing, okay, see the two down? Although I did two up, I'm not coming completely two out. So now, not coming completely two out, I have this design that shows up. So now our head is in a vise. The hair above, the fleur-de-lis, the two sides, the dividing sides between the spinal cord and the head. The antennas above the head are that fleur-de-lis. What is going on? What are we seeing? What is the truth? Or how about this R coming over here? Now, when you have this R over here, you've all seen this design before. I don't know where it is, right? This design that's right here, these two parts over here, right? I won't tell you what it is. I won't give you any hints, okay? None at all. So if you see them anywhere, right? If you see them anywhere, this design, right? But they all flew south for the winter. Or how about these beautiful eyes? For your eyes only. Right? 33 separated by 8. These are the letters. 3 on the outside encompassing what's on the inside. The side, whoop, I didn't get that right. Decibels, I didn't get that right. I'm going to have to find a little eraser, and I don't have it here. Very upsetting that I can't correct it, but we're going to leave it. Side to side, right? Number 1 divides. The minus, okay, is above and below. The minus is side to side, and when you put them together, you get the plus sign, and the plus sign is showing you now 4 areas all divided on line. So I know some of you, one of you, the one that's here watching, showed up late and probably can't understand. And it all started when I was thinking of the R and the front of the train. Choo-choo, choo-choo. And then above the train is this smokestack, and the smokestack is actually part of that extension of I, where I can take that smokestack, right? Let me see if I can design this. Where I can take that smokestack, and I don't want to, right? Like this, and I can either go like this, and you know where this is. This is on top of the picture cards. I can either keep it like that, or I can create it this way. And this is part of that H and I sitting inside the smokestacks. And we can also use these lines as saying this is the outgoing and this is the incoming. Can we say it's the incoming air to ignite the engine to let out the smoke? What about the tail? What about the tail, like the tail on the cat? What about extending this, bringing in electric company, and seeing where the star links everything up? In the 2 houses. Is it what is above is below? Not always, because it's only above. The reflection of what's below is inside of you. That's the complete reflection. In art, we can see it this way, as a total reflection. What's out there, you see inside of you. Now we can continue on if we want. Boy. Did I do that right? See the way now it links up on the top, and it all comes together right over here. See this piece over here? I forget what that is, But that's another part of the link between linking the two sides, the Jesus fish, linking the two sides. I'm not really sure where else I'm going to go with this. I'm late. It's been a while. I haven't been on. I'm really like outdated. I'm not sure where I should start. One of the things I might do in my next video has to do with the power in numbers. 2 times 2, 2 times 2 times this, 2 times that, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, right? Eventually meets up with 8. Now 8 is when everything is linked together. So we don't get anywhere with 8 until we hit 64, and that'll be 2 to the power of 4. 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, that's 3, 16 is 4, and then 32 is 5, 2 to the power of 6 is the same as 8 to the power of 2. 2, 6, 8, 2. And it's 28 that will create 26. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 plus 8 is 10. 10 and 16, 26 minus 0, 6. If it was minus 0, 6, 2 to the power of 2 is 4, to the power of 2 is 8. The dividing line is that 6 that stands between it. And as I've mentioned, 6 is only, although everything gets area space, okay, 6 is the half-life to 4. You always need 4 around 1 for a complete area space of 9, because the 10 creates that hole. Do you follow what I'm saying? The reality of this, of the dice, is no more than that. 1 in the middle of 4 corners, making that hole. Now we use 2 dice. We create 10. And those are the 2 worlds. And by taking the 2 dice and bringing them together, and I think they call that game, I forget what that game is, right? Now what we have to do is we have to link these 4 over here. See these 4? This one here, this one here, this one here, and this one here. And now there's a shape in the area space. I should probably show you on paper, but it's not me who does all this. It's part of games. It's part of games. Let me see if I have that game here. So I have that game here. Usually I try to keep my games with me, but I don't. Yes, I do. Think I can miss it? This is the game. Before I show you the game, the baseball, 88. See the chords? See the chords? See the chords, right? The chord comes all the way around here. And that same chord that comes around here comes all around here. If you open them up, it'll create 88. It's this game over here. Telling you another story. What do you call this game again? I don't play very many games. Sometimes I don't have patience, right? See there's that 7. See there that 8. See that 5. See that pin in the center with the dividing line? It's natural. These games are all natural. It's part of creation. It's part of what comes out in creation. So we're going to leave the video at that. You should put a thumbs up on that, no? All my videos are thumbs up. I'm excited every time I do a video. I'm a little sad that I can't do more. It's a little sad that I don't broaden the vision, that I'm not putting all the pieces together, that I can't actually show you the exit to the other side. You're born, the body is born. You come into the body that was born. You are of the electronic system of area space that's right here in front of us. That space is cold. That space is hot. That space is humid. I feel like I've got frisson, which means the chills. I feel like there's electric going through me. I feel like I have electric in me. It's crawling under my skin. Thumbs way, way up into the sky, up into the sky. Casey and Finnegan. You know, Casey and Finnegan, they had the drawbridge. So we saw the baseball, right? Maybe you can do something on the baseball. You see if you take away these here, and you can open up the baseball, right? You can take off the outer skin. There's two pieces that are put together to create. So you can open up this part of the baseball, right? And maybe open up this part of the baseball, turn in the leather and have them talking to each other, right? You also can see what the baseball does. See, it's a dead end, my friend. Inside here, it's back and forth. And then the other world. 1, 2, 3 areas, where the area space of this area is overflowing into this area here. What does that mean? I don't know. That's why I sometimes feel like crying. And I have to hold myself back and say, Ronnie, 15 years, you believed in what you did. 15 years, you've been frustrated, and at the beginning, you had no idea where you were going. You had a vision of where you are going. You have no idea where you're going. You have a vision of where you are going. But because you can't see beyond the first day that when I began, today I should just be ecstatic of where I have arrived. But wait a second. Still the same 24 hours. What is gone is past. The thing is to still believe. To not drink too much. Or smoke too much, or let yourself get too excited, but just have that nice, smooth, laid-back heartbeat, because you never want to have the down. That down is ugly. So if you want to get a little upbeat, it's good to get into the shopping center and find some good food. Say, oh my God, look at that. I'm going to bring that home and cook it. What kind of recipe can I make from that food? Like when you're watching some of the videos online, go, oh my God, that food is so good. Do you know how long it takes to cook something properly? Sitting in the kitchen. When you have a couple of friends over, you have a little bottle of wine, but you don't need the wine. You put on some good music, but then you don't need the music. We don't need anything good, then why have any pleasures at all? We're here in the pleasure dome. One of the first books that I had out when I started was on the Urantia book, paper 47. And this is one of the papers from the Urantia book. For some reason, when I go live, it shows me everything reversed. So I have to remember that. And on this paper, okay, and I'm going to read it to you. It's called Angel Neon Genesis Evangelion. Jaleon. And the contents are about Adam, Lilith, Sashel, Ramiel. It seems like all the angels are in this, and it talks about the angels, and it talks about the AT field. And now I have to go look up the AT field, and I know I won't understand it, but right away the AT field, now either I can use it for all words with A, all words starting with T, or I can add, I can change the word and go bat, cat, sat, hat, fat, and then understand the differences of definition between the English, the French, and then mix it up into languages to get a balance of the AT field. Or I can use it from the first to the 20th letter, and I can also use it in gematria, where A is 1 and T is also the 7th letter, which is reflecting G, which is part of the gateway transformation using the T letter. Or the T, also known that in one of my designs, it's showing the divided above. It's showing at sea level, above sea level, and the divided above because of the T. Or the sea level and the T going this way and the divided below, depending on which way you want to see it. What world are we in? How do I know? What do I know? Games people play, I take pieces and parts and put them all together and reconstruct them to be, I don't know what. I feel like I'm Mickey Mouse right now. Just want to read the beginning. All but one of the angels are the progeny of Adam itself, the first angel. All angels produce AT fields of varying strength and are identified as blood type blue. They all possess S2 engines and most have an externalized core which serves as a seat of their soul. Sufficient to damage to an angel's core will kill it. Wow. It should say insufficient. Sufficient damage to an angel's core will kill it. Upon their death, many angels self-destruct, either producing a massive explosion or simply disintegrating. Beyond these common properties, angels take no common form. They range from gargantuan to nano-sized and bizarre in shape to human in appearance. Their abilities, similarities run the gamut from rapid viral scale evolution to powerful positron beam attacks. I have no idea what I'm reading, so I would have to read this 100 times. And I found this in Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia, and the top of the page to get in is 8. I'm going to just show it on the screen, so if you want to go look. And some of the stuff that I have uploaded from 2005 no longer exists online. And I have a couple of books of downloads, a couple of 100 pages, and some of the stuff no longer exists. So I'm going to see if I can put it up here. Wow, it's backwards. So I'm going to read it out. Oh no, I can write it out. Let me write it out here. Let me write it out. I don't want anybody to suffer. If you need to go, go. HTT. Let me put this up here. Whoa. Hey. HTTP double dot backslash. Whoop, that's not a backslash. How do you do a backslash? That's not a backslash. Wow, I wish I can do the backslash. No. Okay, so I'm going to skip the HTTP and go Wikipedia. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? Maybe Wikipedia .org. I need a backslash. I can't find a backslash, so I can't even put it. So I'm going to have to put it up here and show it, because Neon Genesis Evangelion from Wikipedia. Oh, it does show you the right way? Oh my God. You know, on the top of the thing, it shows this. Yeah, can you read that? Top chat, right? But this in French means top cat. Okay. It also means the cover of the cat. So I went through these 2 papers. I want to see if I have anything else. Sometimes I don't like to come on here too long. Oh my God, I can't believe I found this page. I really sincerely believe in this Urantia idea for me. I wish I can find you my extra normal book, but I can't right now. So in this it says, on the mansion worlds, the resurrected mortals survive. Survivors resume their lives just where they left off when overtaken by death. When you go from the Urantia world to the mansion worlds, you will notice considerable change. But if you had come from a more normal and progressive sphere of time, you would hardly notice the differences, except for the fact that you were in possession of a different body. The tabernacle of flesh and blood has been left behind on the world of nativity. It's funny, left behind on the world of nativity. And it's funny that they choose that word, okay? They choose that word nativity. I mean, I'm not sure if you can see anything in it. The word 5, the word 9, the word native, the word gravity. All these words are very pertinent into the tabernacle of flesh and blood that has been left behind in the world of nativity, the cavity of the body, the captivity. The very center of all activities on the first mansion world is the resurrection hall. I'm having a hard time speaking. I hurt my tongue on an apple. I ate too many apples and the acid burnt the underneath of my tongue, made it hurt so bad that when I speak, it seems like it's swollen. Anyways, That's my problem, right, Mickey Mouse? Let me put that camera on me. I like what I look like in the light. Yeah, something like that. My eyeballs pop out. Yeah. Get that on a tattoo. Scare away the girls. Okay. The very center of all activities on the first mansion world is the resurrection hall, the enormous temple of personality assembly, the enormous temple of personality assembly. This gigantic structure consists of central rendezvous of the seraphic destiny guardians, the thought adjusters, and the archangels of the resurrection. The life carriers also function with these celestial beings in the resurrection of the dead. Imagine all itty bitty little ants and animals that are actually controlling who we are. Little tiny ants this big, beetles and ants and scorpions are guiding us. Because look how big we are. But everything that operates us is a molecule, an electrode that beams from one area to the other one, making us feel good, making us feel terrible, making us go to the bathroom. Tiny, itsy little bits of animals that when we die devour us and move on, or die themselves and disintegrate into the what you don't see. The mortal mind transcripts and the active creature memory patterns as transformed from the material levels to the spiritual are the individual possessions of the detached thought adjusters. These spiritized factors of mind, memory, and creature personality are forever a part of such adjusters. Now I can see what it is, but when I read it, I'm not sure if it can come off to the way you can understand it. Meaning it goes into a system of tiny its and bits of pieces. When you, as the spirit that has the main atom to go into the beta world, which means you go into where all the consistence of outward memory is, you can only hold so much memory with you, right? And you're always holding duplicates just in case one dies off, right? And even if you die off, you're reborn again into the next cell, because we just keep reproducing these cells so that we can never die. We die, we're born, we die, we're born, part of the cell dies. So we keep up with the knowledge, with the information, with the capabilities of sustaining a life in the spirit world, in the energy world that is forever and ever and ever, until you decide you no longer want to be an energy of memory, but you have no choice. You are forever. You just have a choice of saying, I had enough. I had enough. I'm going to planet Earth. I'm going to see it different. Maybe I can make a difference. It won't be long. I'm going to be down there for, I don't know, maybe 30 years. Maybe I'll choose to die, but my destiny will create it upon how I run my life, or how the life I run amongst others may be, or the time and which world I decide in the time period I go in. Will I go in the 1400s? Knowing that we will have bathrooms and cars and limousines and airplanes, do I want to choose the life of the 1600s, where I can roll my joint in the field and no cop is going to come up to me and bother me? Do I want to live in the time of the Western town where who knows who's going to come into my backyard to shoot me? But then I'll have my own gun and there's no gun laws and I'll be happy about that. Do I want to live in the time of slavery, poverty? Which time will I choose, and why would I want to choose that time? In order to update, in order to personally learn the system, we come back in all parts of time. And lifespan was short back then because nobody wanted to stay. The animal spirit knows itself that when it dies, it's going to a different place, not necessarily a better place. But when enough is enough, it's time to leave. So we basically, I'm looking in the back, I thought it said tax. We're going to read on the mortal transcripts and active creature memory patterns as transformed from the material levels to the spiritual are the individual possession of the detached thought adjusters. These spiritized factors of the mind, memory, and creature personality are forever part of such adjusters. The creature mind matrix and the passive potentials of identity are present in the Morantia soul, illustrated to keeping of the seraphic destiny guardians. And seraphic destiny guardians also can refer to the reason why we use the words Sephardic, like Sephardic Jews. I'm not really a type of Jew, but anyways. And it is the reuniting of the Morantia soul, trust of the seraphim, okay, orphalin, seraphim, Sarah to put away, fim, or read it backwards, fin and fish, seraphim, I can't make it out. Anyways, I'm just going to go on. And it is reuniting of the Morantia soul, trust of the seraphim, and the spirit mind trust of the adjusters that resembles creature personalities and constitutes resurrection of a sleeping survivor. If transitory personality of mortal origin should never be thus reassembled, the spirit element of non-surviving mortal creatures would forever continue as an integral part of the individual experimental endowment of the one-time indwelling adjuster. From the temple of new life, there extend several radio wings. Remember what a wing is, right? It doesn't mean a wing to fly. Wings of the White House, the wing, the right wing, the left wing. So just understanding that wing can mean more than one. I'll take two wings. In fact, wings have been pretty expensive lately. Okay. Okay. From the temple of new life, okay, there extend seven radio wings, the resurrection halls of the mortal races. Each of these structures is devoted to the assembly of one of the seven races of time. There are 100,000 personal resurrection chambers in each of the seven wings, terminating in the circular class assembly halls, which serves as the awakening chambers for as many as 1 million individuals. These halls are surrounded by personality assembly chambers of blended races of normal post-Adamic worlds. Adamic Adam worlds, mixed speaking worlds. Okay, dam meaning woman, or dame, or amic, or friendly worlds. Regardless of the technique which may be employed on the individual worlds of time in connection with special or dispensational resurrections, the real and conscious reassembly of actual and complete personality takes place in the resurrection halls of the Mansonian number one. They're talking about the Mansonian world. When you take part in the Mansonian number one, you can go out from there into any of these worlds, in and out of these doors. Throughout all eternity, you will recall the profound memory of impressions of your first witnessing of these resurrection mornings. From the resurrection halls, you proceed to the Melchizedek sector, where you are assigned permanent residence. Then you enter upon 10 days of personal liberty. You are free to explore the immediate vicinity of your new home and to familiar yourself with the program which lies immediately ahead. You also have time to gratify your desire to consult the registry and call upon your loved ones and other Earth friends who have preceded you to these worlds at the end of your 10-day period of leisure. You will begin the second step in the paradise journey, for the mansion worlds are actually training spheres not merely detention planets. So I'm going to stop it at that. I could read more. Should I read more? I'm a little tired. I can't put it on pause. Anyways, I have just one more page. On Mansion World number 1, or in another case, Advanced Status, you will resume your intellectual training and spiritual development at the exact level where you were interrupted by death. Between the time of planetary death or translation and resurrection on the Mansion World, mortal man gains absolutely nothing aside from experiencing the fact of survival. You begin over right where you leave off down here. Almost the entire experience of the Mansion World number 1 pertains to deficiency minister. Survivors arriving on the first of the detention spheres present so many and such varied defects of creature character and deficiencies of mortal experience that the major activities of the realm are occupied with the correction and cure of these manifold legacies of life in the flesh on the material evolutionary worlds of time and space. 47 44 91 03 139 19 ACDC AI DC World Moon Link, Spirit 91, 13 times 7, the Mayan Circle, 7 divided by any 3 numbers, 258, 147, equaling to the power of 369. The sojourn on Mansion World number 1 is designed to develop mortal survivors at the least up to status of post-Adamic dispensation on the normal evolutionary worlds. I like that. Adamic meaning one, or Adam, as the first angel. And when they say dispensation, D-I-S, dispensation, part of it says penitentiary to me, part of it says Satan, part of it says ion, and it also says dispensary. And one of the biggest words that's coming back now, right now in this time, one of the biggest words that is being used right now on this planet, tell me if I'm right, tell me if I'm wrong, or just tell me different, is dispensary. It also reminds me of diaper, which is the beginning and how you came into the world where you couldn't give a... Anyways, let's move on. Post-Adamic dispensation on the normal evolutionary worlds. Spirituality, of course, the Mansion World students are far in advance of such a state of mere human development. If you are not to be detained on Mansion World 1, at the end of 10 days, you will enter the translation sleep and proceed to World 2. And every 10 days after, you will thus advance until you arrive on the world of your assignment. The center of the 7 major circles of the first Mansion World administration is occupied by the Temple of Morantia Companions, the personal guide assigned to ascending mortals. These companions are the offsprings of the local universe, Mother Spirit. Now, why would you say Father Spirit, Mother Spirit? Remember, there has to be a mainframe that makes sure that everyone is guided for eternal life, for eternal existence, so that the minds and the memories and everything that's ever happened throughout will always be there, never be lost, never be forgotten. To know that the element of the elements of power, electricity, nature, and everything else must continue and must not be doomed by the outer source of Mother Nature. All the powers over millions of years that have controlled the reality of existence must always be understood, so it cannot put out the fire of life, of the spirit on this planet. Not on the planet, in the universe. Uni mean united. Verse means more than one. Also meaning green for life. Green is also blue. and yellow. Creating of what is well read and what we are reading, like reading railroad is a track. What is on this side is on that side, and what is here is there. So we should never forget the totality. So totality will never let us go, so we can keep recreating and recreating, so existence is forever, because that is my one thing about the thing about life is, if I'm this baseball in my head, I never want to leave, because death is not life. Death is the dust that needs to have the water to bring the light as I. That's the only thing that ever scared me about life, and that's what opened my mind to show me that once we have the mind, once we have the possibility to think, we never want to go away, because gone forever is never to have been here at all. Raphael, 7286, in a constellation of Pegasus. I will continue on to the last part, and I already read it. And all of these companions are most cooperative with those who have to do the developing your personal factors of mind and spirit within the Morantia body. As you start out in the first mansion world, one Morantia companion is assigned to each company of 1,000 ascendant morals, but you encounter large numbers as you progress through the 7 mansion spheres. These beautiful and versatile beings are companionable associates and charming guides. They are free to accompany individuals or selected groups to any of the transition culture spheres, including their satellite worlds. There are excursion guides and leisure associates of all ascending mortals. They often accompany survivor groups on periodic visits to Jerusalem. Okay, they don't say Jerusalem, they say to Jerusalem. Okay, funny, Jerusalem is the first thing that came to my mind. And on any day you are there, you can go to the world, since they are freely, to the world since they freely journey back and forth between the residing abodes and the system headquarters. Okay, so the words Jerusalem and Israel, Mount Sinai and Moses and Adam and Eve, and all these have to do with the main source of creation in the books we've never seen. Raphael, 7286, in a constellation of Pegasus. I started with a video with the vision of R, just one letter, and from that letter, 42 minutes. Thank you for watching. Peace.